as guests. Patti Page, Joan Caulfield, David Rose and his orchestra, and special guest James Garner. Brought to you by the Buick Motor Division on behalf of your quality Buick dealer. And now, here is the star of our show, Bob Hope.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? The beautiful new 1960 award-winning Buick brings you Bob Hope, the Oscar-grabbing comedian. Really, I never thought we'd have a parlay like that on this show. Yes, I come to you tonight not as a buffoon, but as an Oscar winner. I won in a new category, miracles. So if you don't laugh, at least applaud reverently. Oh, did you see me get my Oscar on television? Did you? Oh, you did? Well, if you missed it, come around to the house. The shrine opens at sunrise. Honestly, I never expected to get an Oscar. Honestly. Honestly, yeah. Well, no, the way I figure it, there were fewer pictures made this year, so they had a statue left over, you know? And it was a tremendous surprise. They had to come and get me out of the sulking room. And I want to assure you that getting an Oscar hasn't changed me. I'm just the same modest, unassuming, brilliant comedian I've always been. I hope they can get my whole head on the screen. Not too big. Back. Electronics to take over, you fool. And the letters and thousands of telegrams I got. Thousands and thousands. I was flabbergasted. I never realized there was so much jealousy in this country. But it's a wonderful feeling winning an Oscar after all these years. And a word to Price and Waterhouse, enjoy your new Buicks. Oh, one thing. Now, it has been a big month for photography. The government launched a satellite could take a picture. Anthony Armstrong Jones won a princess by taking a picture, and I won an Oscar by not making a picture. Oh, you've heard of our picture-taking satellite, Tyrus, the flying house detective. You've heard of that, haven't you? You have? Really? Well, this satellite, Tyrus, can take a picture of the whole world. Now all they have to find is a piece of paper big enough to print it on. Anyway, at last, we're going to see how the Earth looks to Dean Martin. No, they're not sure whether this satellite is taking pictures, but every hour on the hour, a mouse leans out and yells, "Everybody down there say cheese." Now, the satellite circles a globe every 100 minutes. It could do it in 90, but it has to stop at the drugstore to drop off the film. You know, there's... National pastime is underway, and the cry that all baseball players love is heard throughout the land. Lather up. This is the time of the year when rookies and presidential candidates are trying to make the regular team. In Washington, President Eisenhower threw out the first ball. Senator Kennedy caught it and threw it back. And I see where Senator Kennedy did it in Wisconsin. Of course, Boston baked beans and beer always did go well together. No, it's not easy campaigning in Milwaukee. If they don't like you, they bottle you. I must say the senator's victory in Wisconsin was a triumph for democracy. It proves that a millionaire has just as good a chance as anybody else. And Senator Hubert Humphrey did very well in the farm areas. He promised him better TV reception. I wouldn't say Senator Humphrey had to look at much cheese in Wisconsin, but he's now the only candidate with cheddar eyeballs. Actually, the campaigns, conventions, and primaries are outmoded. There's only one way to pick a president. Let them all battle it out on all-star golf. The other big news is Princess Margaret's wedding. All England is delirious with joy. It's the biggest celebration England's had since I left. not supposed to laugh that loud at that particular joke. No, and they found out, by the way, that the best man wasn't the best man, didn't they? Say, Margaret's marrying a commoner. You know, but then most women do. A commoner, that's British for wetback. No, it's quite a story, isn't it? The Princess and the Photographer. He did better with a brownie than Kodak. Thank you. Anthony actually comes from a pretty snobbish family. His aunt wanted to know who Margaret's parents were. Now, whoever thought Princess Margaret would be known as Tony's wife? But I must say they're a very colorful couple. She's in the blue book and he's in the yellow pages. I think the marriage would be wonderful for Philip. He'll have somebody to play gin with while the girls are down at the office. Say, we have a nice lineup for you tonight. It's option time, you know. We have Patti Page, we have Joan Caulfield, Jim Garner, and incidentally, Jim Garner appears tonight through the courtesy of Warner Brothers, who present Joshua Logan's Tall Story, starring Anthony Perkins and Jane Fonda at your favorite theaters. So much for payola. And now that we've gotten in our commercial, let's sneak in a word for the world's finest maker of checks, Buick.
This is the waiting room of the famous Beverly Hills psychiatrist, Dr. Sigmund Hope. Here are gathered the neurotics of the movie and television industry. Each in his own way has paid a terrible price for success. This is Joseph Calvelli, the famous director. He just finished a week on the Oscar Levant show. This handsome woman waited for 60 years, then finally got her first part in pictures. The next day, the actors went on strike. This is James Garner. This quiet, intelligent man stars in one of the most popular westerns in history.
You must try to control yourself, Mr. Garner.
Well, he started it. Please, lady, I gotta see the doctor.
You'll have to wait. Dr. Hope is with a patient right now, and he hates to be disturbed when he's working.
Oh, it was awful, Doctor. This dream was so frightening. There I was being chased by these 6-foot jelly beans.
Good for you, my dear. And then what happened?
I realized, of course, that the lemon jelly bean was my husband. The jelly his stomach, and boy, is he yellow.
Good for you, my dear. And then what happened?
Well, when I woke up in the morning, I felt much better. However, when I went grocery shopping, I found that I was still unable to make decisions.
I'm sorry, my dear, but your time is up. That'll be $28.
Last time it was 25.
I know. Today I lost 3 balls. Oh, this mattress owes a lot of income tax.
Doctor, it's an emergency. Mr. James Garner.
Oh, well, show him in.
He may be dangerous.
Show him out.
Howdy. You the vet?
Yeah. No, I'm the psychiatrist, or as you laymen put it, I'm a head shrinker.
Looks like you've been practicing on yourself.
This case may call for a few shots with a rusty needle. Why don't we just sit down and have a little chat?
Sure, Doc. Sorry, I forgot to say whoa.
That chair is always frisky during the mating season. Now, your name is Jim Garner?
Yep.
What's your occupation?
You mean you ain't never seen my show on television?
I'm sorry.
What do you do on Sunday nights?
Well, I just sit home and read a good book.
What are you, a commie or something?
My good man, television is geared to the lowest common denominator. It's for idiots, for imbeciles, for morons.
What about Leonard Bernstein, the New York Philharmonic?
I missed it. They were on opposite the Three Stooges. We seem to be avoiding your problem. Now, what's troubling you, my man?
Well, that's it, Doc. I ain't a man. I'm a horse.
You mean you imagine you're a horse?
Well, yeah. I imagine I'm a horse. Careful, lump of sugar.
When did you first notice these equestrian tendencies?
Well, it was last Tuesday.
Tuesday. And what led you to the ridiculous and fantastic notion that you were a horse?
I won the second race at Santa Anita.
This poor kid has flipped his feedback.
Sure glad you weren't in the race, Doc. You'd have nosed me out.
Now, you see, this whole thing is in your mind. You're suffering from what is known as Seabiscuit syndrome. You are not a horse. You only think you're a horse. I'd hate to have the stall downstairs. Now, let's start at the beginning.
Well, it was about a year ago, Doc. I went to visit this voluptuous blonde girl named Mary Cochran.
No names, please. Just the telephone number.
It's Crestview 50799. If a horse answers, it's me. Sorry, Doc, that crabgrass is killing me.
I've met a few kooks, but you've really got it. I'm afraid this is going to take a long time.
Well, there is no time, Doc. My filly, my girl, is sore at me. Last week, she caught me horsing around. With a horse.
Well, I want to tell you one thing. You've got to be more discreet. Hi-ho, Silver. Oh, this is a desperate case calling for desperate measures. We'll try hypnoanalysis.
What's that?
I'm not sure. My Reader's Digest is late. Now, lie back. You're going to sleep, Jim. You're going to sleep.
Night Hall.
Concentrate. Concentrate. What do you see?
A Timex?
Not this year. Sleep. 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 My fee.
Where are my green stamps?
Jim, we're going to re-educate your subconscious by the power of suggestion. Repeat after me. I like girls.
I like girls.
I love girls.
I love girls.
Sounds like a slow leak at Sinatra's house. I believe he's ready for the test. Oh, nurse! Ready? Now, what is this, Jim?
That is a horse.
Very good, Jim. Now, what is this, Jim? Try, Jim, try. What is this?
Well, I'm not sure, but it sure has a pretty mane.
No, you're not concentrating. I'll do it once more for you. See, this is a horse. It has 4 legs, a head, and a tail. And this is a girl. She has 2 legs, a head, and we may have to finish this inventory on the Jack Parr show. Now, Jim, I'm going to bring you out of this trance. When you awaken, you will walk toward the girl. You will walk at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Ah, sweetheart.
No, Jim, look, if you choose the horse, you'll be making the biggest mistake of your life.
Yeah? Well, next time you're on opposite of Western, you check your rating. Come, Zsa. We're going to honeymoon at the Bank of America.
Well, at least he won't be buying a compact car.
Doctor, I'm so sorry. It's your first failure.
Well, no day is a total loss.
And now, Bob Hope and James Garner present The Apprentice Beatnik.
Oobly-ow-wow-wow. Cease. Disconnect. Sack out. When I say sack out, I mean sack out.
What's the rift, Charlie?
I don't dig. What were you scratching on them skins?
Well, the same as you, man. Mother McCree.
That ain't the mother I was scratching.
Man, I just hanging on your beat and reading the music.
What music? You're playing the fly specks on your glasses. Now, split, man. Cut out. Get off my planet. I'm flying so low.
How come, Daddy?
You smell square.
Don't put me down, man. I dig this scene.
Come here. A falsie. Here, cover up. I don't want to get caught next to a guy with his chin sticking out nude.
Look, I'll grow one, man. Just give me time. I'll level with you, see. I'm only an apprentice beatnik. Shh. Man, I can make it. I got all the qualifications. Listen, what do you say, man? You help me be a failure, huh? Look, just give me the chance. I'll goof it.
To quote Jack Carraway, the sage of the espresso set, a beatnik ain't worth his beard unless he can bring a little gloom into another life. Shit. Look at that raw material.
Oh, man, I'll do anything you say.
All right, cool your smile. Unleash your sneer. Now lay a little hangdog in there. Now repeat after me. A heap of sleep is strictly for a creep.
A heap of sleep is strictly for a creep.
Crazy. Take another course.
A heap heap of sleep is strictly for a creep.
I think he digs it. Why don't you fall by my pad for the celebration tonight? It's being condemned.
Crazy, man. You leave a door open?
What door?
No door?
No floor either. I just got wall-to-wall nothing.
Man, don't that bug you?
How could it? When I walk in the house, I fall up. You ever been to a coffee house?
Oh, yeah, man. I was in one last night. I was having a wild time necking with my wife when the waiter turned the flashlight on.
How come you were necking with your wife?
Well, I didn't know it was my wife till he turned the flashlight on.
Oobly, ow, wow, wow.
In this building are the men who guide one of our country's great new industries, reducing pills. These are the brave men who in a single year have removed 14,000 tons of blubber from America's waistline. And now we bring you the latest report on the Battle of the Bulge as we present Joan Caulfield and Bob Hope in The Man with the Golden Tooth.
Gentlemen, with our new TV show, I expect the sales of Reducer-Tabs to double. We've got a great salesman here, America's most beloved comedian, Herman Jolly.
Well, it was very generous of you to give Mr. Jolly a 3 months vacation, but traveling all over the world, why, he's liable to be all run down by the time he goes on the air.
Nonsense. Herman Jolly's not like other comics. He's a level-headed, well-adjusted individual.
Mr. Jolly is here, sir.
Oh, show him in. What happened to you?
Oh, you noticed I got a haircut.
What are you trying to do to us? We make reducing tablets. Now, what kind of a salesman do you think you are, fat boy?
Fat boy? What are you talking about, fat boy? I haven't put on an ounce. Just gained a chair. What about my TV show?
The Reducer-Tab program goes on the air in 1 week. You lose 60 pounds by then, or you lose the show.
This town ain't big enough for a stranger. One of us has got to go.
Oh, Mr. Racker, we're looking forward to seeing you tonight. Oh, yes, he's been dieting strenuously all week. He should be here any minute. He phoned me over an hour ago. There he is now. Oh, don't worry about your show. I'll see that he makes the weight. Goodbye.
Don't stand there. Get the can opener.
I'll get you out, but don't eat anything while I'm gone.
No, operator, I'm not stealing it. I got stuck in it. I'm sorry, I can't do that. But if you give me your name and address, I will mail you the booth.
Wire me. This is the third phone booth you brought home this week.
Well, I can't help it. It's glandular.
I know. You just happen to have fat glands. You know, you'll never work again till they have widescreen television.
I'm sick of your insinuations about me being plump.
All right, I won't say another word.
Good. Anybody call while I was out?
The upholsterer was here to fix your suit.
Now, how could he alter my suit without me in it?
We tried it on the sofa. It fit fine.
Well, I hope it's not too tight around the hassock.
Darling, I don't mean to needle you, but this is it's your job. Now, you know, if you'll just lose 60 pounds, we can kiss and make up.
Why do I have to do it all? Why don't you grow a few more inches of lips?
Come on. Let's sit down and talk this over like grown-ups.
Okay. Come on, sit on my lap.
I can't. You're sitting on it.
You're just jealous because I got more dimples than you.
You've got to realize one thing. Appetite is purely psychological. If you want to be thin, you think thin. Let me read you what Dr. Feigenheimer says about compulsive eating in his wonderful new book, Man Against His Appestat. In the mature male, there are over 20,000 taste buds. The odor of succulent food stimulates first the olfactory nerve center and finally the salivary glands, which send a signal to the appestat. The appestat is under direct control of the upper cerebral centers. But if the inhibitory function of the is nullified by alcohol or other psychological factors, gluttony may result. There it is. How do you like Dr. Feigenheimer's book? How do you like his book?
I don't know. I never tasted it.
You have to console yourself. You're eating your way out of show business.
Well, I can't help it. It all started so innocently. I was at the ball game minding my own business when the guy in a white coat came down the aisle and said, "Hey, buddy, how'd you like to have a hot dog?" I said, "What for? I just had dinner." He said, "What's the matter, you chicken?" So I showed him. I ate 12 hot dogs. I didn't know at the time he was a pusher. After that, I was hooked. Hamburgers, Cracker Jacks. Next thing I knew, I was popping 3 bags of corn a day.
Got to fight it.
I've tried. But do you know what it's like to wake up in the middle of the night sweating and trembling, with every nerve in your body crying out for a pastrami sandwich? Get me a pizza. I need a fix.
Control yourself. I'll get dinner.
Oh, good. I'll set the table.
Oh, not with that.
Why not?
Because these are your shorts.
Throw them away. They shrunk.
Come and get it. Oh, that's for me now. Remember your diet. Here's your dinner.
What's this?
Oh, it's a low-calorie special. Breast of parsley, hearts of anchovies, and fillet of asparagus.
Oh, good. And my favorite dessert, the juice of 2 polyseeds.
What are you doing?
I'm trimming the fat. Maybe I can do an eating act.
We'll exercise to get your mind off food. I'll get the medicine book.
Wait. I mustn't think about food. I mustn't think about food. I can't stand it any longer. All this meat and no potatoes.
get that?
Jackie Gleason sent me a care package.
Herman, you've got to control yourself. Well, I did it, and look, I don't even have to wear this girdle anymore. Well, I guess this is it. There's your sponsor. Your career is ended.
Not yet, it isn't.
Oh, Mr. Racker, what a wonderful surprise.
How did he lose the weight?
Wait till you see him. Skinny, Mr. Racker's here.
Hey, you finally found yourself, didn't you?
Not yet, but I know I'm in here somewhere.
Boy, you've done it.
But my living girdle just died.
Am I on time?
I just paid the check.
I'm on time. Did you break the news? Did you tell your folks?
Well, I've tried, but you know Father's temper. Every time I mention your name, his rash comes out.
I thought sauerkraut did that to him.
It does. Sauerkraut and you.
Well, let's face it, your old man's a party pooper.
I know how you feel, Henry, but we're going to have to keep our marriage a secret just a little bit longer.
Yeah, but it's been 3 years. You better hurry or you'll have to carry me across the threshold.
I know, dear.
You living with your folks, me living with my folks. I've heard of separate tables, but this is ridiculous.
This may be the only marriage that's called on account of rain.
Oh, we ain't doing so bad, honey. We've had some great time.
Oh, yeah.
Remember our honeymoon?
We went bowling.
Yeah, I know. Well, going bowling may not be much of a honeymoon, but just the same, it was the happiest moment of my life.
It was?
Yeah, it's the first time I ever bowled 280.
Thanks a lot.
Well, if it isn't Mabel Schultz.
Why, Jim Murray.
Honey, it's been years. Hey, you look great.
Oh, thank you. You look pretty good yourself.
Don't mind me, I'm just taking the census.
Your girl?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Oh, thanks a pile.
You know, me and Mabel, we used to have some great times. You remember that picnic up the lake?
Oh, yeah. Do I?
Yeah, you fell out of the boat. You didn't even have any dry clothes to put on.
That was before I met you, Henry.
Yeah, you wrapped up in that old bathrobe. You didn't know the moths had been at it.
That was before I met you.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you did that Indian dance around the campfire. Wow.
Ever have the feeling you were born 10 years too late? Hey, buddy, if you're not buying, don't handle the merchandise, will you?
Well, what's it to you? You don't own the girl.
I don't. You want me to go home and get the pink slip?
Jim, this is Henry. He's sort of a relative.
Sort of a relative?
Yeah, I'm a distant husband.
A husband? But that can't be. Your father had great plans for you. He treated you like a princess, and you went for him?
Well, what's so funny about it? I'm a photographer.
Well, as my old pappy used to say, why buy a raffle ticket when somebody's already won the turkey? So long, Mabel.
So long, Jim.
I hope his horse rolls over on him. Gee, I'm sorry I spilled the beans, honey.
That's all right, sweetheart. We're going to have to announce our marriage pretty soon anyway.
Yeah, that's the only sense. Honey, you mean? You're sure?
Yes.
Gee, that's great. Now we have something to hold our marriage together. How about that?
What's all the excitement?
Oh, we just found out. Her folks are giving us a television set. I'd like to bring Joan Caulfield out here again, please. Hey, how are you, baby? Honey, I certainly enjoyed working with you in the sketch. You know, you're one of the nicest wives I've ever had.
And you're one of the fattest husbands I've ever had. Say, Bob, how did you manage to hold your stomach out like that?
Joan, that was padding. This is the real me. Solid Vic Tanny. Just a little elastic.
Bob, you don't wear a...
Certainly not. Certainly not. What I'm wearing is more like rubber bookends. I'm a firm believer in togetherness. Now, Joan, this is really a reunion for us, isn't it?
Oh, you remember the picture we made at Paramount, Monsieur Beaucaire?
Remembered, I've still got the teeth marks.
They're showing Monsieur Beaucaire on television next week.
Is that true? Well, I'm glad you warned me because I got to get the set out of the kids' room.
Why?
Well, last time they showed Sorrowful Jones, my boy Kelly came running in and said, Mama, I'm watching an old movie on a television movie on television. I'm watching it, and guess what? Can I try that line over? Last time they showed Sorrowful Jones, my boy Kelly came running in and said, Mommy, I'm watching an old movie on television, and guess what? Daddy's got a baby brother.
Well, that's the trouble with children, Bob. They're so frighteningly honest.
Yes. So are you. Joe, now that the sketch is over and my stomach is gone, how about that kiss?
Well, do you think we can do it?
Easy.
Difficult. Good night, Bob.
Good night, Joe.
Good night, everyone.
David? And thanks for the memory to all our many friends on whom our show depends. To one and all, let's meet next fall as now this season ends. And we thank you so much. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is our last show of the season. We'd like to thank those ever-loving Buick dealers for their tolerance, cooperation, and loot. We'd also like to toss a bouquet or two to our wonderful staff. I'm indebted to so many people around here for their great service, so tonight when you see the closing credits, applaud a little for me, will you? And don't forget, if you're interested in the easiest way to own a real family-sized car like the Turbine Drive Buick, be sure to ask your quality Buick dealer all about the easy ownership plan. You know, I don't usually plug a book unless it's mine, but a very good friend of mine and yours, Ted Husing, has written a wonderful book, My Eyes Are in My Heart. I think you'll like it. Great guy, great announcer. I'll be back again in the fall. Oh, for Buick, by the way. Thank you very much. Good night.
Featured in tonight's cast were Stephen Chase, Peter Leeds, Sandra Gould, Joy Lansing, and Lyle Moraine. Miss Caulfield's Gown by Maxwell Sheaf. Patti Page can soon be seen in the Lancaster Brooks production of Elmer Gantry. Buick Show has been brought to you by the Buick Motor Division on behalf of your quality Buick dealer. Next week at this time, see Perry Como's Kraft Music Hall in color. And now, this is Frank Barton, reminding you to stay tuned for This Is Your Life, next over most of these NBC stations.